Right, welcome back to Exehaven Harbour. So this piece of baseboard's in now. It's all taped up. Obviously when we come to ballast it and scenic it, that will all be covered, that'll be painted and so on and so forth, as will all the other pieces of tape and stuff, but they're quite good to cover up them little gaps. So anyway, what we're doing now today is the other platform at Exehaven Harbour. We're going to go from there just over to here. Got the point, I've got it marked out here ready where to cut the track, although you probably can't see it just there. I think there's one cut there and there's another cut up there. I can't even see it now myself, just there. So I'm going to cut that out, put a point in, and then run some track down to there where the warship is. All the electrics shut off at the moment, so there's no trains running, so it's all quiet at Exehaven Harbour. Right, okay, so a good 3 hours later, there are some other changes that I made. I decided, I think with a suggestion in the last video from Mark Island from Budleigh and Marsh, I think he suggested that the platform that I was going to have here, to make that as a through platform too. So if you did, Mark, thanks for the extra work. If that's not what you meant, that's what I've done. And anyway, so that will mean all of the platforms are through platforms. I've even left a little sort of head shunt in here now. So it could technically still be a parcels sort of delivery area at Exehaven Harbour, or it can just be a runaround for this side. I'm not planning it to do it with the other side, but now with all the through platforms, that should be that should work quite well operationally, as we say. So yeah, so this has all been added in. We've got the new point over there, which is what I first set out to do this morning, which now runs into that platform there. That one runs in as it did before, I believe, and we've got our additions down here as well. So Exehaven Harbour Station is now a full run-through station. That's how the track's going to be set up. There's a few little bits and pieces that I just need to adjust, but in essence that's it. I've made sure that it all fits. It now needs wiring up and soldering and all that sort of stuff, so I probably won't be doing that today. But we will get on with that tomorrow probably. I'm meant to be playing golf tomorrow, but the weather looks terrible, so I think that's been cancelled. So that will give me the opportunity to come out here and do a bit of extra work, which will be quite nice. Something good to do on a horrible, wet, rainy day. But yeah, that's how Exehaven's looking. I'm actually really pleased that I've made all these changes. Hopefully it'll all work. After I've wired it all up and everything, I'll come back to you and we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's all worked so far, so there's no reason why it shouldn't. And if it doesn't, it's just a little bit of tweaking, and that should make the difference. Okay, so we'll leave that segment there, and the next time you'll see it will probably, I'm hoping, be all wired up and trains running around, and we'll see how it all works. Okay, cheers everybody. Right, so the new track layout is actually in place now at Exehaven Harbour Station. I think what we'll do, we'll start there. This platform on the outer edge was going to be a terminus platform. It's not now. It may be another through platform, but or a parcels sort of goods platform. I still undecided yet. That's a way off. Or no platform at all, and just sort of a passing loop for freight or run rounds, all that kind of thing. So So those 2 points have gone in just here. This I've added on as such, just as a little head shunt more than anything. You know, whether it's prototypical or not, I doubt it the way that I'm building it. Then we come out of the station, the other end of the station here, and I think we had this point in the other day, and which made, let me think, oh yeah, it's this line, we had that point in, and that was one through platform, and that was when that was going to be a bay platform. But now we've added that point and we can come out on that line as well. And the other point, which was over here, which is the one that I set out to do, and then had the change of plan because Mark Island put the seed in my head. Thank you, Mark. And the other point there makes that rear platform there, or what was going to be another bay platform, another through platform. So we're done. As you can see, the wires are in, ready for hooking up, and I've run out of time again today. Got to go and do some more stuff this afternoon. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. That's gone in there quite nicely. I've been using these 3 carriages as a non-electrified test train, and it seems to run reasonably smooth through there. I can't do it and hold the camera at the same time, unfortunately. But yeah, it does, take my word for it, it runs pretty smoothly. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about is the curve on there, but I think just here, I think, you know, for me that might be a little bit tight, but to be honest, it's coming into the station, the train should be running reasonably slow around there, so it actually, it's not that bad now I'm looking at it. When I first put it in I thought, but I think that has got quite a nice flow to it. So that's how the station looks. One day it will have platforms and so on and so forth, but we're away from there yet. So my next job obviously is to wire it all in, and then we'll give it some proper testing. Hence no trains running, it's all the electrics turned off. I like to do that when I'm putting the track in. But yeah, so reasonably happy with that, reasonably happy. So I'll come back to you shortly in the next segment with the track wired up and hopefully a few trains running. Right, so got everything wired up, and guess what? There was a short. Straight away, as soon as I plugged the Z21 in, we had the red light click on. Oh no. So I've spent half an hour taking the wires out and redoing them and so on, and still I had a short. So if you're starting out in the hobby, you know, perhaps I'm not a beginner anymore, but through sheer annoyance sometimes you have to sort of take a step back, and a couple of things to check. Okay, so especially wiring with DCC, I don't know about DC, so don't ask me about that. Make sure you've got the isolating joiners on there, the little plastic joiners on the V or the frog of the points. Now I checked all of the ones that I've put in, and that was all good. So yeah, I just thought, and then I've checked to make sure, because what I'm doing on this layout is it's, you know, a little rime black to the back, so the black wire is always at the rear of the piece of track. So anyway, I've checked everything, it all looked good, and then the very last piece I've checked, which I'm just taking out now, I've put that piece of track in round the wrong way. So the black is on the wrong side. So hopefully when I've done that, that'll be the problem solved. So yeah, if you're starting out and you're just doing it and wiring, just little things to check. Just make sure. I think I put this with the very last piece that I actually put in, and I think I was getting a little bit happy that I'd done it all, and blow me down, I've put it in the wrong way. So yeah, like I say, when I come back to you, hopefully we'll have that up and running. Right, now then, it's been running a couple of minutes. Hopefully this doesn't all go sadly wrong as I've got the video on it. So here comes the Class 31 with a full rake of 8 coaches, and there it goes through there. Got it going quite fast just to make sure everything stays on the track, and that all seems to be pretty good. That's been around there 4 or 5 times now. The only problem that I've got now is that I'll switch this and you'll see, but I think this part of the track is dead for whatever reason. I don't know. It's wired up as all the other points are. Whether this is a second-hand point, so it might be faulty, but and I might just put a wire in there to try and get some power just to see, but as the Class 31 comes back again, it's probably going to stop pretty dead pretty quickly. It's probably proved me wrong now. So here we come. Right, that's interesting, sorry about that, because we crashed into the point that I hadn't switched the right way, so we've got a short at the moment, so just bear with me and I'll come back to you short. Right, so that was interesting because the 2 or 3 times that I've given it a go before, it just wouldn't go through there at all. So we'll let that come round again. It's got to do another circuit yet. But yeah, that's I don't know, maybe it just needs a little bit of cleaning across there because it does look a little bit pitted and dirty. So I might have to take the old track rubber out and get that. Very pleased I spotted that earlier. The wire's round the wrong way. I was very concerned about that. I was going to have to take all the wiring back out like I've just done, and it took me over an hour to do it and I didn't want to do it. So here we go. Is it going to go? Well, there's a pause there obviously. So I'll have a little look into that and I'll come back to you. It'll probably be tomorrow now. Right, okay, so good morning. It's the next day. Now I still have this sort of slight pausing problem over this point, as I was showing you in the last segment, which is around about here. Now, strangely enough, it has worked okay for a little while, and it's now started doing it again. So I watched Marklin of Sweden a few weeks ago now, and he was doing something about track cleaning and so on. And he said the best way of actually cleaning the track was keeping the trains running. So what I'm going to do, because now I'm going to move on to Budleigh Regis today, is just let the trains run. So the Class 31's coming through there now, little pause, and off she goes again. But like I say, there was a spell where it wasn't doing it at all. So oddly, I don't know, we'll just let the trains run and see if it works its way through. What I may do is just change the point out at some point, and we'll take it from there. But as a whole, it's working pretty good. You'll see when the warship comes round in a minute with its rake of coaches. I think it's just coming into shot any time now. But all 4 through platforms now are working quite nicely. There she goes, snaking out of there, and that all seems to be quite good, so I'm happy with that. Just noticed that this is knocked over. There we go, that was me working on a bit of track at the back earlier that I haven't quite fixed in right. Here comes the Class 31 again, little pause. So yeah, I don't know quite what that is. It's a sort of slightly pitted track. It is second hand, this point. I did buy a lot of points from Hatton's a little while ago, and they were quite cheap. They were about £4 each, I think, £5 each, something like that. And it does save you a few quid, but obviously the quality's not as good as buying brand new. So all the other second-hand points that I've used have been great. That one is the one that's just given me a little bit of jip, so we'll see about that. So I'll just give you a little run round and you can watch the trains come through up here. Nothing has really changed on the right hand side. The left hand side is where we've changed things slightly, but not really. But they all run through there, they always did run through there quite nicely. And to class 31, pulls again, up and out, and off she goes. Whilst the warship's coming down now, so we'll have one more view of that, and then I'm going to move on to Budleigh Regis. Hey, there she goes. Excellent. Right, the next segment we'll be moving on to Budleigh Regis and what we're going to do about that. I'll catch you shortly. Right, so this is Budleigh Regis, and as it stands, I was originally trying to model it on Sidmouth Station, but I want Budleigh Regis to be perhaps a little bit more, I don't know, for want of better words, more of an important station. I just would like it to be a 4-platform terminus at quite a nice seaside town. That's basically, I mean, Sidmouth is a lovely place if anybody's ever been there. Lovely piece of coast down there in Exehaven. And I've got, I mean, basically, I've got here four tracks. So, where's my finger? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, my intention is to take this out at the back here. A goods yard will be somewhere around here. I have got room up here. I think the turntable may have to come out. There is room up here, but my vision is that there's a rocky outcrop that will cover this whole area, and it will come right across here, forming sort of some cliffside round here, around Budleigh Regis and so on. So I'm going to try and work it out. I mean, this section round here will probably be a bit of hillside, and I want to curve the platforms, the 4 tracks, into this corner. I want that hillside to run sort of right up here really, and I want it to look like the Victorian engineers have kind of dug the space out for the station. So I think it's going to give me a bit more room to do some town scene modelling, because the town will roll down the hillside here, which rolls down to the beach, which will be down here at some point. Oh, just tripping over the radiator. Yeah, the beach will be down this section here and run right round. But obviously that's some way off yet. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. So basically the 4 tracks that I've got at Budleigh Regis as it stands will just curve in, because I want a lovely curved platform, and it'll just curve over to the to Tony's North Eastern's Christmas card that he sent me last year. It'll curve into that spot there. So stick with me, and once I come back to you, we'll have a good look at the area when it's cleared of all the station and all the other bits and pieces. Right, so there's Budleigh Regis cleared of all the bits and pieces. Just a little line side hut that I'd scratch built there, still left there. I'll take that away. But yeah, so let's just move that over. Put him down there. All the trains that we had in here I'm now over in the line that leads down to the docks. It's actually provided a good storage area, so quite pleased with that. So that's kept them out of the way, but on the tracks as such. So what I want, like I say, what I'm going to do now is probably going to take this out. The track plan itself is not going to change hugely. This piece at the back, which took us into the goods yard, won't be there. But these 4 tracks will come in closer together, I'm guessing, and obviously spread a little for the platforms. And I'm just going to slightly curve them in over here, over to there, and we'll see how that works. I think that's seen better days. Poor old thing, been stuck in here since the summer, I would imagine. So that was hidden behind the goods shed. So anyway, we'll be mothless shortly, and I'll be ripping this track up and starting again. Right, there we go. So it's probably half an hour, an hour later from the last segment, and Budleigh Regis as finished. As you can see, I started using this underlay, which is sort of foam insulation as such. As I discovered at one point, it's not very good at taking paint, and I think that was when I was doing the 2 sort of girder bridges over there. I decided to give them a coat of grey paint, and they shriveled up. Now I think it takes emulsion paint okay, but I probably won't be using emulsion paint, and I'll just swap it over to caulk. I'd already done a little bit of it in caulk, but this will be all thrown away, not required, or put in a spares box, whatever. So yes, so that's that. The wiring will change slightly, because when I first started, and some of you that have been with me since the beginning, I was really struggling with soldering to start with, and I ended up using these Pico rail joiners with wires on, but I've taken all them off now. I'm going to re-solder everything and you know, do it properly this time. There were so many little bits of track and everything that I've done. This is going to be completely relayed in a better way, hopefully. But I remember when I first started, I didn't really know what I was doing, and you sort of do it, you sort of wing it really, and you kind of learn how you go along. And it was kind of nice to come back to it today and revisit it really, because I had so many little bits of track where I hadn't measured or fitted it in right, and I just remember just cutting up bits of track and just making it fit, and hopefully this time that'll be better. I had fitted one of the DCC Concepts point motors over in the back over here originally. I'd done it just to try it really, just to see how it all worked, and I had that working, so that will be back in. I don't know whether it'll be back in at that point, because I made a decision a few weeks ago that not everything is going to have a point motor. Things that I can reach probably won't have a point motor, although it depends on where they are, because operationally, you know, I think some of them will need point motors, and what I'm trying to do is cut down on the cost of things, you know, because a pack of those is over, well, it's probably getting on for £250 a pack of 12, which is fine, but that is expensive, you know, and I'll probably not, if I'd done every point, I'd probably need 4 packs, and that's like £1,000 just on point motors. And I think Mrs. Exehaven would have kittens, and she had kittens when I bought them, because I did ask. So yeah, so there we are. The next segment will be with track laid. What I plan to do, while I'm just thinking about it, that hole will be filled, by the way. I'm going to use my track setter. These are the 30-inch curves. And what I'm going to do is base the curve platform on that. and I'll figure that out as we get to that point. So back to you shortly in the next segment. Right, so about an hour and a half later, and a lot of fiddling about, I'm kind of just about decided on that kind of curve. Now, I'm also undecided whether to go for 3 platforms, because this outer one on here is very tight to the edge. I don't really want to add, well, I will be adding a little bit more in there I suppose, but I think it might be not quite as I want it. I envisage it in my head. The other option is, which I've just been thinking about, is having a slightly shorter platform there for perhaps the local services to go in, and the other 3 are the main platforms. So the length of an 8-coach train with an engine on the front is here, so I can get full-length trains in. There's room over here for the engine sheds and so on. I may actually move this outside track to the inside and do it like that, and have it slightly staggered. Right, well, I'm going to have a bit of lunch, and I'm going to come back this afternoon and I'll have a little ponder at lunch. Right, so I'm going to wrap this segment up and this episode with that. Doesn't look a lot from there, but basically it's been roughed out. There's my finger, there it is. Okay, so there's just here, there's a point, a Y-shaped point actually. I had one Y-shaped point, and that's going to open that out into the 4 platforms. Now, the one on the extreme left isn't a platform. That's going to end up being a little bit of a head shunt, so that can goods vehicle can come in there and then back it all up into the shed. That's about the best way that I could do that. I might do another little head shunt. Anyway, I digress. I keep digressing, but I think I've roughed that out. So the next episode that you'll see, hopefully I will have that all in there, and it might make a little bit more sense. But you've got basically platform 1, platform 2, platform 3 and platform 4 all coming in from here and then fanning out, as you see. Now that's given me room down here and right round the front to give a nice sweeping station, and hopefully I can get some town in here and let it all sweep down. So in my head that's all working well. But like I say, that's it for this episode, and in the next episode you will probably, hopefully, see the track down at least. Okay, so thanks everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for all your support, good response to the last video, and yeah, if you like what you see and you haven't, subscribe. Thanks guys, cheers.